Cool. A little bit of unions, intersections, which I'll bet you've heard of before, and then the complement of a set, something we may have not heard of before, but a little easier day to day. So the union of a set is the first one right here. It's like if you had two sets that are in like either element, you're going to unite them together. We'll talk in more detail about this later, but if you're going to unite two sets, let's just say I had the set of like all people in contemporary math, and I had the set of all people in college algebra. I'd take anybody in contemporary math and anybody in college algebra and like put them all in a room. That's the union of those two sets. You just put them all together. The math symbol looks like a U, but it's not a U. So it's one of those things we got to get used to the symbol on it. The union symbol means put it all together. The opposite of that is the intersection of two sets. The intersection of those sets are only the elements that are in both sets. The symbol for that is the union guy upside down, right? Kind of looks like an N, but it's not an N, but it's the intersection set. And then the complement, again, we'll talk about all these things in more detail. The complement is everything that's not in that set. They write it kind of fancy on your homework. Sometimes you see it as A, like it looks like to the c-th power, but it's not like an exponent. It looks like A to the c. Sometimes they put it as A sub c, and sometimes they put it as A prime. Like right there is maybe something, if you're a highlighter person, it's like that's how they mentioned the complement. So let's do a few examples to like make this make a whole lot more sense. So I kind of am a color coordinated person also. If you're colorblind, I'm so sorry, but I do a lot of stuff in colors. I got three sets. Set A, which I colored in green, set B, and set C right there. It says find this, A something B. Your job is to know that that means the union, right? So all that means is take everybody in A and everybody in B and put them together, but don't list anybody twice. So how do I do it? One set at a time. I'm going to start by putting my cool little set bracket, and I'm just going to list everybody in A. Would you believe red, green, and blue are in A? Like I'm just listing everybody in A. That's every element of set A. And then I need to put with it everybody that's in set B, but I'm not going to list them twice. So like, see in set B, red's in that set, but isn't he already written down in my union? So I'm not going to list him twice. Yellow's not in there. Orange isn't in there, so I'm going to put those two dudes in there, right? So yellow and orange go in there as well. Again, I'm color coordinated. You're doing it all in pencil, but you're just literally like typing this stuff in when you do homework. The hard part is you got to spell the word yellow right. You got to spell the word orange right. And I'm not saying you don't know how to spell it, but typos are an issue. You know, it's like, oh, I typed it in wrong. You know, so make sure we're typing stuff in. That's the union. You put them all together, like the United States of America. It's all 50 states, right? It's the union. This guy right here is the intersection. That's anybody that was in both. Could you tell me which color, or colors, it could be more than one, was in both A and B at the same time? Red. So boom, there you go. Red. And then I went too far. So red is the intersection of those. Those are two pretty basic ones once we get going, right? Union and intersection. Union and intersection. But then they mix in this dang complement thing right here. So they say find A complement intersection C. So A complement are all of the elements that are not in set A, but are also in set C, right? So that's pretty challenging. I'm going to just kind of put it up and let's talk about it. Would you believe orange is not in A? Are you with me on that? Orange is not in A, but it is in C. It's not in A, but it is in C. Yellow is not in A, but it is in C. And purple is not in A, but it is in C. And that is challenging. I have to sit there and stare at it for a long time. So if you have trouble with that, normal. But I just kind of talk myself through it. Okay, it's like I go through here and it's like, okay, is red in A? Yep. Can't be in the complement of A, right? It's like who's not in A, but in C. Weird. That complement thing is a weird one. We'll get better at it. Cool. Find A union C. I'm going to pause the video. Would you give that a try with a neighbor? Everybody in A is red, green, and blue. Everybody in C, red, already in there. Orange, got to put it. Yellow, got to put it. purple, got to put it, you know, but I didn't need green, didn't need blue. And then let's try this last one. Find B complement. That means people who are not in B, but also inside of A, right? Not in B intersect A. So not in B in A is red, not in, oh, I said that backwards. Not in B. Let's see what we got here. Green is not in B, but is in A. So what you do is you roll through A and you look through it this way. Okay, A's got red in it, but B's got red in it. It can't be in B. A's got green in it, and that's not in B, so that goes in my answer. Blue is in here, and it's not in B. So you're looking for guys that are in A and not in B. Weird. That's probably the toughest part of today right there, that complement guy. I will help you when we do homework. All right, same concept. The universal set is just kind of simple like this. The universal set is all the elements in the set that we're interested in. Like, so if I was just like, hey, let's talk about the students at Hayes High, would you believe that's every student that's enrolled in Hayes High? That's called like the universal set. Sometimes they just set a set of numbers. So like, let's kind of dive in down here. Let's let set A be this. Let set B be this. Let C be this. And they're saying, hey, for the universal set, we're only going with numbers from 0 to 10. 0 to 10 is the only numbers we're working with, right? That's the universal set. So let's try A union B. I'll let you do that. Take everybody in A and put it together with B. So how I roll is everybody from A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then I want to put it together with everybody in B. So I started with 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. B has 1 in it, but does my answer already have 1 in it? Yep. B's got 3 in it. Does my answer already have 3 with it? Yep. B's got 5 with it. My answer already has 5 with it. You see, like uniting those together didn't do much good, right? So that's that answer. Please try A union C. Try A union C. The weirdo was just 6, right? You know, so you're listing all of A, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then in C, 4 was already listed, but 6 wasn't listed, right? So you had to throw him in there. I'm not a fan of unions because it's a lot of writing. You got to write all these stinking things down. I like intersections better. There's less things in there. So see if you can figure out who's A intersection C. Who's the guy or guys that's in both of those at the same time? The intersection is the overlap. Try to keep you awake. Holler at me. Can you give me somebody that's in the intersection for sure? 4. Right? Is there anybody else? I think that's it, right? Isn't 4 the only one? What if there was nothing? What would you put? Do you remember from last time if there was nothing? Yeah. Empty brackets like this, the empty set. Or sometimes you'll see the circle with the slash in it, right? You can do that. But you don't put them together. Don't do that. That's not proper. So that's a no, 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 no. B intersection C. B is 1, 3, 5. C is 4 and 6. See where those intersect. Who's the dudes in both of them, if any? Anybody? So that name is called the empty set. The empty set. And now here's where the complement is so much easier. See that little C is the complement. That basically means you're not in it. And you base it off the universal set. So the universal set is 0 through 10. Those are the only numbers allowed. So I want to know out of 0 through 10 who's not in A. I'm going to just go in numerical order because 0 is like the lowest one we got. Is 0 not in A? What do you think? So there's an answer. 0 is not in A. I understand why we're shaking our head no, but he is an answer because 0 is not in A. 1's in A. 2's in A, 3's in A, 4's in A, 5's in A. How about 6? So 6 is not in A. 7 is not in A. 8 is not in A. 9 and 10. Why do I stop at 10? Because the universal set puts the limits on it. That's as far as we want to go. People are like, well, 11, 12, 13 is not in there. I understand that. They're not asking us to count that far. They're saying just go from 0 to 10. You're either in A or you're not in A kind of stuff. Cool? So see if you can find who's not in B. based off of the universal set. If B's got 1, 3, 5 in it, who is not in B? And you can check yourself. I got 0, 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I could have made a mistake. You know, I am human. This is my first year teaching the class, so it's very likely I have some mistakes. But are we cool with my answers if you feel the same that I do? Yeah. Right? All right, a couple more, and then we're done. Right? A little bit confusing of doing stuff like you got more than one thing at the same time, but you do the same rules as the order of operations from way back in algebra. You see you got like parentheses here, you know? We got to do what's in the parentheses first before we can rock and roll. So in the parentheses is H something F. Tell your neighbor, is that a union or an intersection? Unions look like U's. Is that a union or an intersection? Intersection. So let's do it. Let's find the intersection of guys in H and guys in F. Who are the animals that are in both of those sets at the same time? Got a vote for dog and rabbit. Any other votes? So I'm going to write that down. I'm going to figure out H intersection F is dog and rabbit. Dog and rabbit. So I figured this out first. Now they want me to unite that, because that's the union symbol right there, with W. So I'm going to start with dog and rabbit. And then I'm going to just take everybody in W and list them, but I'm not going to list them twice. Right? I took the people in the intersection. W's got duck, quack. Rabbit, it's already in there. Deer, frog, and mouse. Dog, rabbit, duck, deer, frog, and mouse. All right. Another one, do what's inside the parentheses first. Right? So this says F union W. If you would please unite those two sets together, take everybody in F and everybody in W, list them out. Well, I'll tell you what, I'm not going to do this. Like, do we need to write it all down? You know, maybe you do, maybe you don't. I'm not going to force you to write it all down. But do you realize when you're uniting them together, it's everybody in blue. I united this blue thing and that blue thing together. Are you with me on that? And I know a couple of them are in there twice, like ducks in there twice. Cool, I'm not going to count it twice. But what I'm looking at right here is everybody in blue. Cool? Who intersects that with H? So I'm going to look at H, and I'm going to say, okay, out of cat, dog, rabbit, and mouse, are any of those also blue? Is cat in the blue set anywhere? No. Nope. Is dog in the blue set anywhere? Yeah, it's right there. Are you with, it's in one of the blue sets. Are you with me on that? So dog's in there. So I'm going to roll with dog. Is rabbit in any of the blue sets? So rabbit. And then is mouse in any of the blue sets? Yeah. So what I did was cheated a little bit, you know. And again, we don't have quizzes and tests on paper. We got them on the computer. So if you can do it without it, but here's what I did. I needed the union of F and W. So I highlighted F blue and I highlighted W blue. And I said, all of those guys are in there. I united them together. But then they asked me, who, out of all that blue junk, intersects H? That means they're in H and in the blue stuff at the same time. So I went through H one at a time and saw if they were in the blue set. And those are the intersections. And I think that's enough for today. Right? There's a few more questions, but we get the point across. It's early in the school year. I would rather you work on homework, and I just kind of help you as you go along. So I'll stop this.